Hello! My name is Pei, and these are the 16 bosses that you can do right now without being maxed and without having access to the highest tier equipment. These are my stats, and for the most part, as you'll see in the video, I've used gear which everyone has access to, such as Elite Void, Fighter's Torso, Dragon Crossbow, etc. If you're unsure which gear to use, a good starting point would be to check the RuneScape wiki page for each boss separately. I've included an unedited sped up full fight of each encounter after each boss explanation. It's just for the reference that not every fight needs to be perfect, we all make mistakes, and it's all just a big learning process in hopes of getting better. We're gonna kickstart with a fun and a ridiculously easy boss called Giant Mole, which is located in the mole hole in Falador. Bring a light source, slap on your best melee gear, pray melee, and just whack the mole until you're bored. Sometimes he'll spray paint your face with goo and burrow away into another location. Just open your eyes and find him. He drops mole skin and mole clothes, which can be traded twice on in Falador for unique bird nest, which is the only source of consistent bird nests. One of my favorite encounters in the game are the new Royal Titans, and you wanna fight them with a combination of melee and range gear. They are slightly weaker to crush, but not to the point where it matters that much. Just bring your best melee and range gear and you're good to go. Eclipse is really good there since you can stack burn damage. Until you get a Giant Soul Amulet as a drop from the Titans, just use the fairy ring code AIQ, which brings you just south of the entrance, and then run to their cave. Otherwise, just teleport using the amulet. Equip your range gear, enter the cave, and start the fight by attacking the fire giant. If you have trolls, click on them as well. Both giants will continuously spawn these walls of fire and ice, just avoid them. It doesn't really matter if you get trapped between the two walls. Once the fire giant starts walking towards you, equip your melee gear and pray melee, as they're going to stomp the ground, which deals, you guessed it, melee damage. Once the fire giant walks away, re-equip your range gear and repeat the process. Royal Titans can spawn minions at any point during the fight, but you're safe to ignore them while praying melee. After a few seconds, the minions explode and do a little bit of damage, but it's nothing you can handle. If you time it correctly, or if you're lucky enough, you can trap the minions by using Titan's fire and ice walls. When Fire Giant drops below 35% HP, you're going to enter phase 2, where they'll stomp the ground and you'll need to stand on the yin yang. Once the stomp is over, equip your melee gear, pray melee, and bonk the boss. From there on, just repeat the yin yang bonking process on the ice giant as well. They are a lucrative encounter because of the staff crowns, which can sell for up to 4 mil each. Another brain-dead encounter where you just want to bring your best mage gear, stand in one place and send some AFK kills is the Deranged Archeologist. Only requirement is the Bon Voyage quest, and the fastest way to get there is by using the Digside pendant to Fossil Island and then use the mushroom to teleport. Make sure to bring an axe and a rake to clear the vines blocking your path. There's only one attack you need to watch out for, and he'll make sure to remind you of the times where you did too much RuneScape and too little studying. Just make sure to avoid it and you're good to go. Not the reading though, don't avoid it. Some call her Sarachnis, others Mummy Longlegs. Hopefully you're not arachnophobic because it's a fun encounter and a good entry point to PvMing. Sarachnis is weak to crush, so wear your best melee gear with high magic defense and your best crush weapon. In order to get there, use a Xeric's talisman if you have one. I don't have one, so I use my Book of the Dead to teleport just northeast of the dungeon entrance. When entering her lair, pray ranged, and when you get close, just pray melee the whole time. When she reaches 66 and 33% HP, she summons additional spiders which you can just ignore. The reason why you want high magic defense is because of the blue spiders which attack you with magic. Occasionally, Sarachnis will shoot a sticky web right at you which will bind you for a few seconds. You can completely negate this effect by wearing Aranea boots. Otherwise, just pray against a few ranged attacks and continue waking her with melee. Spiders, rats, this game has it all. Scurrius is meant to introduce you to various mechanics that are present in higher level play, such as switching protection prayers quickly as well as dodging attacks and managing multiple monsters mid-fight. Scurrius grants a substantially greater amount of combat experience than normal, which makes it one of the best, if not the best, combat training methods. Choose your gear, go to the Varrock sewers and climb through the broken bars. Pray melee and attack the Red King. What you'll notice immediately are these bricks falling from the sky. Just avoid them. At 80% of his HP, Scurrius will run away to his cheese stack to regain some health. While eating, he'll randomly hit you with one of the two attacks, ranged and magic. Pray ranged against the yellow goo and pray mage against the blue lightning. He will also summon 6 giant rats which don't disappear until you kill them. You can either kill them normally or just ignore and kill them after you're done with the boss. Once you get a Scurrius spine, which is a 1 in 33 drop rate, you can craft a bone mace which doesn't have an attack delay, meaning you can instantly kill all the rats like so. After reaching 30% HP, the Red King will move towards the center of the area and attack exclusively with ranged and magic attacks at a faster rate than the first two phases. He will also use falling bricks and will summon rats. Just use everything you learned up until this point and whack the shit out of the Red King. One of the most iconic encounters in the whole of RuneScape are the Barrows Brothers. The drops are insane there and most of the gear is used regularly up until this day, which makes this probably one of the most fought bosses there is. You're gonna need ranged and magic gear for this encounter. Your prayer is drained in the tunnel, but you can bring a Gomal's Hilt too to completely negate this effect, although it's not really needed. You also need a shovel and optionally a strange lockpick to open locked doors. There are 3 add-ons which can help you with the Barrows encounter, and I just use all of them. The only one which holds value though is the Barrows potential, which calculates the average value of rewards you'll get in the Barrows chest. According to Wiki, you wanna keep the reward potential at 86.8%, which basically improves the average value of your rewards, so that's the value you should be aiming for. The fastest way to get to the Barrows Brother is by using the Barrows teleport tablet, so crack one and start digging. I always start by going to Derek first, then Achrim and Caril, and then Gatan into Torag into Verak. When you find an empty sarcophagus or when the boss doesn't spawn from it, you'll get a prompt asking if you want to enter the hidden tunnel. This can happen at any boss and you want to kill all the remaining bosses before entering the tunnel. This just means that the boss which didn't spawn from the sarcophagus will be your final encounter. Fight Derek with mage and pray against melee. Fight Achrim with ranged and pray against magic. Fight Caril with mage and pray against range. Fight Gatan with mage and pray against melee or don't pray at all. Torag is the same as Gatan and Verak is the same as Gatan and Torag. When you enter the hidden tunnel, you'll notice a chest in the middle which you need to go to. If you have the door highlighter plugin, you'll also notice the doors which you can or cannot go through. If you have the strange door lockpick, you can go through any door, so it doesn't really matter. The only thing that's left in the tunnel is to go to the middle, kill the last remaining boss which will spawn somewhere at the beginning or when you reach the chest, and cap your reward potential by killing monsters in the tunnel. Take a look at the Barrows Brothers wiki page as it shows you what exactly you need to kill to cap your potential. Open the chest and get your Barrows gear. Good luck! Another newish addition to the game, Amoxliatl, is some kind of a water sprite which is considered an entry-level boss with text meant to introduce you to various mechanics somewhat similar to Scurrius. In order to be able to fight Amoxliatl regularly, you need to complete the Heart of Darkness quest where Amoxliatl will be your final encounter. Until you get the Pendant of Addis, which is a 1 in 25 drop rate, the only way to get the Amoxliatl is by using this cute little bird called Reno. Travel to Salvager Outlook and then make your way towards ruins. Equip your best best melee gear with a crush weapon, bring trolls and pray mage throughout the whole fight. The boss will constantly spawn ice spikes from the ground which you need to avoid, and an icy pool will be left on the tile where you were originally standing, so make sure to not stand on the initial tile. After every few attacks, Amoxliatl will use one of two special attacks. The first one is called Icicle Crash and it will disable all your active prayers. Just turn the prayers back on until the icicle hits you. The second one is called Unstable Ice. The boss will spawn a few blocks of ice which you need to destroy, otherwise they're gonna leave pools of ice on the ground. Ooh, scary. If you think pools of ice are scary, wait until you hear about an angry cloud. Chaos Elemental is a dark cloud with 6 tentacles located in deep wilderness. It has a few lucrative drops such as the dragon gear, but it also has a 1 in 300 chance of dropping a smaller version of himself which you can roam around with without a leash. This time, do not bring your best range gear since the fight is located in wilderness and you don't want to lose your valuable gear. Bring what you can afford to lose and a few strong +1 items. Remember, if unscald, you can have 3 protected items on you, and if you pray item protection, you can bring 4, so choose wisely. The fastest way to get to the Chaos Elemental is if you've completed the Hard Wilderness Diary. Then you can redirect a wilderness obelisk from your house to level 50 and from there just run west. But if you're a scrub like me, just use the Anacarl tablet, run northwest to the gate and then northeast until you reach the boss. For this encounter, it's important to bring food such as summer pies because the angry cloud will try to unequip your gear, and by having summer pies, you'll constantly have empty trays in your inventory, making it impossible for him to unequip your gear. Pray mage throughout the whole fight since you can't really distinguish which attack style he's using and mage hits the hardest. Sometimes he'll teleport you a few tiles behind, but it's nothing you can't handle. Just come back and finish the boss. Also, don't forget to bring your looting bag when fighting bosses in Wildy, as it saves you the trouble of running back and resupplying, which in return decreases your chances of running into a PK somewhere along the way. If you want multiple angry clouds but only as a scenery, the Chaos Fanatic is your guy. This crazy bastard is one of the rare monsters which can drop the ancient staff, but is also farmed for its odium and malediction shards. In order to get there, use a Gorok tablet which will teleport you to Deep Wildy just next to him. The fight is generally the same as when fighting the Chaos Elemental, just pray mage and hit him with ranged. Make sure to take food such as summer pies with you, since he can also unequip your gear. When he throws the green stuff at you, just move away. Be careful though, the Chaos Altar is near, which is a popular PKing spot. It wouldn't be an MMORPG without a dragon encounter, and who's better than a king itself? KBD is a 3-headed dragon located in a lair which is accessible only through deep wilderness. The encounter itself is not located in Wildy, but you need to travel through it in order to get to the lair. It's not a long walk, but don't be fooled. Other players are regularly camping this spot in order to get your hard-earned sweet juicy loot. The fastest way to get there is by using the burning amulet and teleporting to Lava Maze. From there, run west and then north along the fence. Go through the gate, climb down the ladder and pull the lever. You're safe only when you pull the lever. Bring what you can afford to lose and your best type weapon. If you have it, use the Dragon Hunter lance since it does more damage to dragons. In addition, you're going to need an anti-dragon shield and some anti-fire potions. Bring a teleport or any jewelry that you can use to teleport out. Once you pull the lever, pray mage until you reach the boss and then just pray melee throughout the whole fight. This lowers the chance of KBD using its unblockable dragonfire attacks while being able to negate all damage from its melee attacks. The king drops a lot of goodies, but the most notable one is definitely Draconic Visage, which is used to craft a dragonfire shield. Is it blue or is it gold? According to Wiki, Vorkath, the undead dragon, was abandoned due to its lack of aggression. He was left on Angel as a distraction for any humans that will stumble onto the island. I, for one, like this little runt, and it's a pretty fun encounter and a decent moneymaker for any mid-game player. Although the chances of getting a unique are slim, he is killed for the superior dragon bones, which are 100% chance drop and sell for a decent amount. Depending on your luck, you can get anywhere up to 2 to 4 kills per trip. Easy, that's 4 to 8 bones guaranteed, which translates into 200 to 400k GP per run. The only requirement to fight Vorkath as a regular boss is completion of a Dragon Slayer 2 quest. Same as with KBD, you need an anti-dragon shield and anti-fire potions in order to fight Vorkath. You can fight him either with melee or ranged, but I personally prefer ranged. Also, if your range level is on the higher spectrum, Elite Void is your best pick because of increased range damage and accuracy. The best item you can bring damage wise is the enchanted and imbued soul amulet, as it grants a whopping 20% increase in damage and accuracy when fighting undead monsters. As I'm bringing a dragon crossbow, I have 2 sets of bolts. Ruby bolts E, which can proc up to 20% of max HP, which caps at 100 damage, and diamond bolts E, which I use when the boss drops to around 30% HP. Bring a rune pouch with runes for crumble undead spell. Bring anti-venoms as well. The fastest way to get to Vorkath is by relocating your house to Releka. From there, run north to the docks until you reach Thorfinn and travel to Angel. Poke the dragon, pray ranged, and start hitting the boss. Obviously, use your anti-fire potion if you haven't already. There are a few attacks that you need to watch out for. A regular projectile which does no damage as long as you pray ranged. A standard dragonfire which does minimal damage as long as you have an anti-dragon shield and anti-fire potions. A venomous dragonfire which can venom you if you don't have anti-venom active. A pink dragonfire which disables your prayers. A fireball which you need to move out of, and a blue projectile which deals unavoidable damage. Other than that, Vorkath has 2 special attacks, one of them being the zombified spawn, where he'll freeze you and summon a spawn which basically acts as a kamikaze if you don't kill it on time. Using Crumble Undead will one-shot the spawn. The other special is called Rapid Fire, and Vorkath will launch acid pools around the area and then start hitting you with fireballs. A good way to avoid this is to immediately turn off your run and start walking in a single direction while keeping away from the acid pools. Stepping on an acid pool will deal damage to you and heal the boss. Combined together, this is what a single Vorkath run looks like. Who doesn't like a pit full of toxic garbage? Scorpia resides in a cave located in deep wilderness and is the only monster to drop Odium and Malediction Shard 3, which are used to forge the Odium and Malediction Ward respectively. You wanna fight Scorpia with Mage and you wanna bring Ice Barrage. You also want to bring a Wilderness Sword and a Lockpick with you. In order to get to Scorpia, pull the lever in Edgeville, run north and cut the webs. Wilderness Sword has a 100% chance to cut the web in first try, that's why you bring it. Run east all the way through the multi-combat area and enter the cave. You wanna pray ranged all the time because of these little buggers. Freeze Scorpia and attack her. When she is at 50% HP, she will summon 2 Scorpion Guardians which heal her rapidly over time. You wanna mark this so it's easier to see when they spawn. You don't have to kill them, just freeze the Guardians and move Scorpia away. After a short period of time, the Guardians will disappear because they are too far away from the boss. Just continue to freeze and kill Scorpia. The fight itself is really easy, but you're always at a risk of getting PK'd by other players, so bring what you can afford to lose. The area is multi-combat, so it's not for the faint of heart. Remember when I said to bring the lockpick? Well, the lockpick is so you can run away in this little shed here when people get overexcited to get your hard-earned loot. Having multi-combat lines plugin helps here as it will tell you where the multi-combat area is. If you're getting chased by multiple people, the only advice I can give you is to keep calm and eat. If you get an overhead prayer correctly from time to time, you're golden. Most of the time, these multi-pickers are pretty bad at what they do. Once you cross the red line, you're in a single combat area and only one picker can attack you. You can always try to freeze the picker, stand under him and log out, but if you're unsure of your skills, the best course of action is to lockpick these doors with flying access and just log out. Huey is a funny looking dragon located on top of the Dark Frost Mountain in Varlamore. He can be fought in a group of up to 20 players, but you're the main character of your story and you should do it solo. The only requirement to fight him is completion of the Children of the Sun quest. Since Huey is a group boss, killing him solo can take quite some time, but if you don't mind longer sessions, Huey actually has some decent uniques and drop rates overall. In order to reach the instance, you can take a fairy ring AJP, run northeast until you reach Reno, and then travel with Reno to Gorge. Once there, go through the northern gates and make your way atop the Dark Frost Mountain. Fastest way to get there though is by using the Pendant of Attis and just teleport next to the mountain. Bring trolls and your best melee gear. As always, a good starting point would be to check the RuneScape wiki and recommended equipment section. Once you're ready, step over the chain and start hitting one of the 5 Huey body parts. All you need to do here is hit the body parts, move out of the blue stuff and pray against projectiles. Pray mage against blue projectile, ranged against green and melee against red projectile. Once done, move atop the mountain. Since you're fighting him solo, you don't have to worry about these pillars, so just hit the boss, move out of the blue stuff and pray against projectiles. This will be consistent throughout the whole fight. Upon reaching 50% or less HP, a tail will come out of the cave and a damaging wave will be sent towards you. You can usually skip this damage if you start running towards the tail as soon as it's about to hit the ground. After smacking the western tail for a bit, it will retract and a new tail will spawn on the eastern side, sending a new wave towards you. Every wave can be skipped so you don't take damage, but you really suck at this and it's just a feeling you're gonna get after a few tries. A weapon such as these dual sticks are perfect for the tail since the damage on tail is kept at 9, I think, and you can hit twice in a row with the sticks. You do the math. After the tail phase, Huey is back to his original phase, only this time a wave will spawn every few seconds as well. It's much easier to skip the wave at the last phase in my opinion. Just wait until the wave is 2 tiles away from you and click the ground. Again, just a feeling you're gonna get after a few tries. The holy trinity of wilderness bossing. A bear, a spider and an edgy undead. If you're looking for some quick buck, you definitely won't go wrong by farming either one of these bosses. Although they are located in wilderness, the gains definitely out-reward the risk, especially if you're slick on your escapes from PKers. These 3 bosses are heavily farmed because each of them drops a piece which is used to assemble one of the best spec weapons in the game, a Void Waker. Calvarion is located slightly northeast Archaeologist from the Ferox Enclave. You wanna fight him with melee, and your definite best in slot weapon is the Ursine or Vigora's Chain Mace, plus the Solve Amulet E. Bring a tele as well. When you rack up 20 kills, you can use the peek option on Calvarion's cave to check if there's anyone inside. Once you're inside the cave, just smack the boss. You don't have to pray anything here. I have Pray Mage on because I'm easily distracted and I don't wanna get fully teleblocked by another PKer. Remember, if you don't Pray Mage and get hit by a TB, it will last for 5 minutes. If you Pray Mage though, it will last 2.5 minutes. Sometimes it can be a deciding factor when you're trying to escape PKers, so always, literally always Pray Mage whenever you encounter a PKer. Calvarion has only 2 attacks, this lightning that you need to avoid and this shockwave that you need to move out of. Upon reaching half HP, he spawns 2 wolves which you need to kill off before you can hit the boss again. Once you kill him the first time, he will respawn, do an AoE which you need to move out of, and then repeat attacks from phase 1 all over again, only this time the lightning will be faster. You can fight Artio with either ranged or magic, just make sure to use their equivalent wieldy weapons. For ranged, use a crossbow or a web weaver, and for mage, use a Tamaron or an accursed scepter. If you're using ranged, make sure to have at least +0 magic attack so you don't miss your freezes. Artio is located just north of the Ferox Enclave, and same as Calvarion, you need to rack up 20 kills in order to pick the cave to check for potential players. The fight itself is really easy, just pray ranged for the duration of the whole fight. Freeze the bear and attack her. Occasionally, Artio will launch a knockback attack, just pray mage against it. Whenever she's unfrozen, just freeze again, and if in any way she gets too close to you, just pray melee as she can hit hard. At 66% HP, Artio will unfreeze and deploy these traps around the cave, so make sure to avoid them. You can also walk over the traps if you're standing directly next to them, like so. At 33% HP, she will unfreeze and deploy the traps again, so just refreeze and watch out for traps. Spindel is located in a cave north of the Ferox Enclave just next to Multi. You can fight her with either ranged or melee, but I prefer melee. The only other requirement is to bring darts, knives or some chins, since she spawns multiple little spiders which have to be killed quickly, otherwise they'll drain you a lot of prayer. I'm not really smart when it comes to Spindel, I usually just glue myself to her and brute force my way into the kill and it works. Just spray melee and whack the shit out of her. When she spawns the small spiders, switch to your ranged weaponry and quickly finish them off. When she casts a web on the ground, just make your way around it, and if in any point of time there's a distance between Spindel and yourself, she will sneak in a ranged or a magic attack, so either pray against it or don't. It's not a big deal. Now for an actual hard and challenging fight. Just kidding. Phantom Muspah is an easy solo boss which can be fought with either combat style, but I honestly prefer a combination of mage and ranged, as I believe is the safest variant, especially for newer players. In order to fight Muspah, you need to complete Secrets of the North quest, where you'll fight a weaker variant of him at the end of the quest. Muspah is located in the Gorg dungeon, and the fastest way to get there is by using the Ring of Shadows and TPing to Gorg dungeon. From there, just go south until you reach the crevice. If you didn't complete Desert Treasure 2, you probably don't have a Ring of Shadows, so the best way to get there is by using the Icy Basalt and descending down the stairs east. Once inside, go south and enter the cave. From there, go south and you'll see a crevice in which the boss is located. The only important piece of equipment for Muspah are Sapphire Balls E, since there's a phase where you'll have to drain his prayer quickly. Other than that, consult with your RuneScape wiki strategist. When you enter the cave and start the encounter, Muspah will be in one of his two attacking phases. One of those phases is his melee phase, where he'll chase you around the map and hit you with melee, and the other phase is the range phase, where he'll just stand in place and hit you with a combination of ranged and magic attacks. He will change colors according to the phase he's in, so a melee Muspah would have this kind of dark greyish combination of colors, while ranged Muspah has these green nuances. When Muspah is in his melee phase, you wanna equip your mage gear, freeze him and then attack him. After a few of your attacks, Muspah will unfreeze and start chasing you again, so just make sure to keep your distance and keep him frozen. While in his range phase, Muspah will stand in place and most of the time shoot range projectiles, and you'll need to pray range against them. Occasionally though, he will shoot a magic missile which you need to pray mage against. Upon changing phases, a spike will come out beneath you and a few random places, so just make sure to move a tile whenever that happens. There are two special attacks which Muspah will do over the course of the fight. In his first special, Muspah will roar at the moon pretending he's a wolf, and a few homing spikes will chase you throughout the arena. Just run away from those. In his second special, Muspah will disappear into thin air and spawn lightning clouds across the arena. There's a tile which is a complete safe spot, so as long as you're staying in that exact tile, you won't get hit by a single cloud. Neat, isn't it? The tile marker for Muspah is in the video description below. Okay, so you're handling his phase as well, he's done both of his special attacks and you're on your way of getting your first KC. Muspah reaches 127 HP and something really strange happens. A shockwave that deals a shit ton of damage, a shield that you can break through. What the hell is happening? No worries. Upon reaching 127 or less HP, Muspah will teleport to the center of the room and send a shockwave that deals damage. You need to hide behind a pillar and you're safe. Afterwards, Muspah will gain a prayer shield which needs to be taken down before you can actually damage him. This is why we brought Sapphire Balls E. Equip those and run his prayer down. All you need is 2 procs and his shield is down. If you can sneak in smite on your bolt attacks, you're golden. Smiting Muspah on your bolt attacks will drain his prayer constantly, so you're not fully dependent on the Sapphire procs. Once the shield is depleted, Muspah will return to its range form and create a large number of spikes before resuming combat as normal. The spikes will emerge every 4 attacks and cover more tiles, so make sure to avoid them and try not to get stuck in the corner of the room. Hope you give these bosses a try, and remember, RuneScape is a never-ending learning experience. There's just so much content in the game and I'm doing my best to share the knowledge as I'm experiencing it for the first time, so please share some love if you like what you see, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!